Good evening, everyone. So today we are taking the last session of this training program. So today we are going to cover two topics. The first topic is introduction to ChatGPT and exploring the use of AI tools in oil and gas industry. So let's meet the trainer for the day. So our trainer for this session is Mr. Prerna D. He's working as a senior designer and digital marketer for iFluids Engineering. He has 10 plus years of expertise in digital marketing and graphical designing. He has been serving potential clients across the globe for several years. We heartily welcome you to the session, sir.
Thank you, Anu.
I kindly request everyone to mute your mics. We'll start the session, sir.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Anu, for the introduction. Hi, guys. Let's start the session. I'll share my screen. Okay. Screen is visible, right, Anu?
Yes, the training, now the PPT is sharing. Yeah.
So today's session is about like introduction of ChatGPT and exploring the use of AI in oil and gas industry. So as you guys are well aware that as of now, we are in the mid of like AI revolution. So we have been speaking about this for quite long that we have been taking movies around this kind of stuff, but it has actually become a reality nowadays that we can like touch and feel the potential of AI so that we can make use of it. So we are in a beginning of a big changeover that the world is undergoing right now in technology space. So we are all going to be part of it. So what are the implications that we'll be having? So we need to learn about it, rather being threatened by it. We have to learn and excel in it to survive in this upcoming world. So let's start the introduction. So basically what this is let's, before going into what is an artificial intelligence or how good it is, let's see basically how the computer works. So basically a computer is for logical thinking. So basically you give some input and it will give an output. So basically but it needs to be given in a perfect, and the input needs to be in a specific format and specific language so that it can understand. So basically what a computer is an electronic device. So it can understand only the current, that is whether the current is there or not, electric current is there or not. But we humans cannot speak in electric current, right? So we can only speak in a language, using a language. We can communicate using a language. So we are using some kind of programming language to communicate to the computers that will connect. Ultimately, it will connect to the electrical signals. So a basic example is like a computer program, like addition of two numbers, A and B are there, and then we are going to add sum, and then print out show the sum. What is the sum value? So this is called a high-level program, a C language program, high-level program, and it converts to the machine code, that is zeros and ones. This is what we call as a digital binary digits. That is why we call as a digital zeros and only two values. That is what we call as a binary. So this two value is nothing but a representation of like ones and zero, that is high voltage 5 volt and then 0 voltage. So this is what given into the CPU. The CPU is basically made up of transistors. Transistors are nothing but a switch, the switch that we have in a home, right? So it is basically switching, turning off and on. So based on this, you can see these are the logic gates. So switch on, switching off. So based on this, we can turn ones into zero. Based on this logical operation, we can perform any kind of operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, any kind of computation can be done. So this is what the computers are used for. So what is the need for the computer is basically it is, we humans are emotional being. So we tend to get tired, we feel, so we'll not be able to give our 100% performance every time. But computer, if it is working, you give the input, it will give the output very efficiently 100% of the time. So we need this kind of, as of now, for doing our logical computation, we have been using the computers so far. So with the revolution of like the ChatGPT, you might have heard about this buzzword, the ChatGPT. ChatGPT is like a robot like friend, like a person that you can really speak to. Like previously, we as of now, we cannot like communicate to the computer. Only we are programming a structured programming language, we can communicate. Like a C language program, you need to know C language program, you need to know a Python or JavaScript, Java to speak to the computer and ask it to do some tasks. So whereas here, this that's Chat GPT, so it is using that you can communicate using a human language. That like how we are speaking using English, even Tamil, you can speak, you can chat with it in Tamil. So or any language, or that's like. So this is what the Chat GPT is all about. So the OpenAI is a company behind this. Chat GPT is the software or technology. So OpenAI is the company behind it. They have developed, the research scientists, they developed this application. So basically, you might have seen the robot movie where the chitty, where it basically scans number of books. So that is what, and then it can answer any question. You might have seen that it scans medical books for to help the heroine of the movie, Aishwarya Rai. So it is similarly like that. So Chat GPT, what is the here chat? You all know chat is that speaking to and communicating is a chat, whereas GPT means generative pre-trained transformer. So what do you mean by pre-trained is it has been given, the artificial intelligence is derived by training it. So basically we are training like things, right? That you maybe dogs may be trained to pick some balls. So you give some commands, it go pick some balls. So similarly, there are a number of training sample data given to this program. It studies, try to studies and understand it. So that is what, and then from that understanding, it is able to generate an output that we will be able to understand as a human directly. That is it is a natural language processing model. It is a subset of a artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a very wide thing. And then in artificial intelligence, we have many number of things. So machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence, and then natural language processing is a part of artificial intelligence. So generally, when they are saying artificial intelligence, it is a huge umbrella. And then the subset we have machine learning, natural language processing. So this falls under natural language processing. That simply to summarize, it can able to understand human level languages and then communicate back to us in a human language. So this is what is NLP is about. Able to understand what we speak. So basically, to explain how it able to understand, like for example, babies are like small babies don't know languages. So how they are learning, it takes so much amount of for a person baby to learn a language. Even for one word, it will take slowly. It will keep on observing what we are speaking. We'll show an object, we'll point it to as a apple. We'll show apple. This is apple. So when the number of people say the same thing, it will recognize thing, and then it will show it in the paper. It will see, and it will be able to in charts, it will be able to recognize a apple. When it sees in the real world a real apple, it will be able to recognize it. So it will think, okay, it looks very similar. So this is apple, this is a book, this is a pen. So this is how for each, and it learns about the object, its name, its properties, how it is. So similarly, this application is given large number of that is the internet archive, all the every information, books available at our disposal. It has been given those things and trained this data. So based on that, for example, it will understand. So Apple, it reads different text, right? So wherever it finds Apple, it will try to understand. Okay, what is the app characteristics of the apple? It will be red in color. It will be in this shape. It can be also in a green in color. It cannot be in a like a different color or blue color. It cannot be. So it will learn this kind of characteristics. And what is a banana color, or what is a pencil? Pencil is made up of wood. So these kind of things, it will start. It has an understanding. And basically, a normal computer without AI will have a set of, for example, it will be like a quiz. You can feed a set of question into it and then answer it. If you give exactly ask the same question, it will give the answer. If you give a wrong question or ask a wrong question, it will say not found in the database. It is not able to find the question that you have asked. So it will refuse to answer. Whereas the artificial intelligence, with the understanding of the things around it, wherein so much data is there, it will try to give an answer. Okay, this is what he's trying to ask about. So that will try to build up or generate an answer. So that is what is all about. So this is how the neural network is learning. This is AI learning the patterns and the structure in the languages and the grammars of the language. So once it understands the language, it will be able to easily understand a human being. So the AI is not only about like text, like only you can chat or speak, but it can generate images, videos. You might have seen like this, you can see like Nehru and Gandhi and Ambedkar, like it has, you can see how original it looks, like people taking like selfies. So these kind of things. So what we are going to see is how we are going to use for our productivity. As I told, like with the level up of the ChatGPT, many people will be using, and there is a estimation of many people will be losing jobs. Many accounting jobs and other jobs can be done easily using the ChatGPT. So many, there will not be like, for example, 5 person will be working for a particular project, but one person with the help of like the AI, one person can do all this work. So it will usually the amount of people who are getting recruited will be reduced. But if you learn how to use this technology, you will be at the top, so that you will get that opportunity to work with it and you will be able to stay at the top. Then you will not be like, you will be having more opportunity to get into any company. So let's see in an example, like for example, it can help you fix grammar, rephrase the sentences, summarize a page, integration with a data Excel, and then you can make a conversation, ask, reply to an email, and attend an interview. We can prepare interview. We'll show an example based on for everything. So basically, so this is a image generator, one type of AI. So here I can give a text. I have given a text, generate a chemical industry plant with fire accident. So it has generated with a pollution. So you can give any type of instruction here, and then it will generate a image. So this is what this is about. So we can change it to like on show. So it is generating. So as of now, I'm just demoing using a free example. This is clipdrop.co.com. So you can see, right, based on the understanding, it's trying to generate a onshore oil plant. So you can keep on experimenting. There's different styles are there. So for image generation. So Midjourney is a AI tool that has become very famous for this kind of thing, but it is a paid service. So this is similar to, this is called a stable diffusion technology name. So based on this, you can generate any images also, create a baby image. I'm just showing what is the like potentials of the AI. So you can see it is there is no baby looks real. It looks, everything is looks like real. It is not fetching it from any other sources. There is no other baby like this. It is trying to fetch it from the create from the already pre-trained data. So you can see how good it looks. It looks very original. So usually we use this kind of image and this for our web design projects. So whenever using projects, right, you might have seen people pay for like using this kind of stock images. So instead of now buying the stock images, we can create this kind of images ourselves. We can give, we want a white dress or a red dress, baby, for example, baby in red dress. So it will try to generate based on that. You can see, right? So it generates, you can give, it can, this is small description just for a demo. You can give it like a paragraph of information. It will try to generate in a background of a field or in city or in a village. So those kind of information you can give, and then based on that, it will generate. Create a So based on our input, it is generating an image. It looks like a Tamil baby. So based this kind of information. So let's move on to the next thing. So here we can see the Excel chart. So here we have a state, and then this is generated using the AI. So it gets the capital city from the state of this column two. So you can give column A1, and then it will fetch this data from based on the state. It is fetching the capital. So this is a small demo, but we can use it for our data. Like you are having technical PDF, you mostly will be working with this kind of estimations, evaluations. So for this purpose, you will be able to use. And then Microsoft have been introducing, they are in the forefront of introducing ChatGPT technology into their search engine. So what basically they have is a Bing. You might have heard about this. So Bing is an alternative for Google. So they have introduced, interacted with this AI powered. This is like a chat. So you can use this for a free, because ChatGPT free version is a little bit slower. So we need a paid version to get full potential. But whereas you can get the full potential of ChatGPT here. So here we have like two versions here. You can see these are the tabs you can use. It's a blue color, and then this one is the older version, like this the 3.5 ChatGPT. This one is a 3. That's 4 ChatGPT version 4. This is more refined. It has more reasoning to it. It can be more creative. This is the latest update, whereas this is the old update, but it will be very good for analysis. So you can use these two tools. So the next thing is, these are the tools. This is a AI tools. There are different number of tools you might have, like to fix grammars or rewrite the sentence. So those kind of things you can do here using these kind of things. Yeah. So the another important thing, the tools is, so here we have a add-on. So let me show. Are able to see the add-on, right? So what this does is, here we have a add-on. So it will able to summarize instead of like reading a whole article. It can just give you summarize of this article. So you don't need to read everything. For example, this is a long article and gives so much information. And even if you read, if you're not able to get what it says or what it's there, it will summarize this thing. This is called the add-on that is used for Google Chrome. So it will say what is the key takeaway from this article. So based on this, a dark color scheme causes eye strains due to the Ulrich effect. So you are using in mobile phone, you have like dark and light schemes, right? So which one is better and which one is not? So based on this particular article, it says dark gives eye strains, whereas light colors are better for human eye when seeing on the computer screen. For mobile, it may be okay, but for using computer screen, when for coding, for doing long hours of work, light color scheme background works much better. So this is what the key takeaway from it. Or if you want like ask something about you can ask any question. What is light background good? So it says based on this article, you can ask it question, and then it will, from this understanding of this article, try to answer the question. So you can use this kind of tools to read an article. For example, any analytical article. For example, let me show you another example. So here you are able to see. So this is a case study by on the website based on iFluids, done by iFluids. So here you can see there's the same article. Here you can do the same thing. I can ask you to summarize it, what this is about, this case study is about. So it states the case study is about GAIL has awarded iFluids Engineering to carry out QRA study for diesel tank at this station. So this is one main point. So they has given awarded. This aim of this QRA study is to potential risk personal acts due to personal accident release of hazardous materials and recommended risk reducing measures. So this is what the aim of this project is. Based on the observation conclusion, generic recommendation provided for this study, ensuring personnel do not carry any ignition sources, organizing mock drills, developing suitable detectors for this. So this is the recommendation. So it covers three main points, key takeaways. So it gives the details about the project and awarded to who and what to study. And this gives the objective of the study. What is this QRA is done for? And then what is the conclusion or summary of this case study. So instead of going through everything and then trying to understand, it will give a basic understanding of this. You can use it like this. So the another use case of this thing is, for example, I'll show you. So here you have this another report, like you have like as asset report. So this is, you are able to like see this page, right? So it looks too much of like a report, like a research paper. Usually you might have seen this kind of reports. So it will be difficult to understand these things or like get what this or this. So you can upload it to another service called chat.pdf.com. So it will get uploaded, and it will, from this you can ask questions. So it has taken this, you can ask question. It shows demo questions. What are the key components are there? So let's ask the same question. So it will, based on this, from this document, it will try to give us the understanding. So it says the key components are hazard identification, team composition, these other things. So explain about, let's ask another follow-up question. Explain about. So now it gives the answer for the what is the team composition of acid session is described in page number 5 of this document, and then this and this. So for this kind of long document, you can see, right? So this kind of thing, it makes it you might have like this many questions, you may not be able to find out easily. You can ask and ask it to fetch it, and then this kind of things can be very much helpful. This is one of the tool, chatpdf.com. So for people who are doing research or doing a studying to improve yourself, right? You might be studying other research papers or other projects. You might have suddenly, if you are joining a company, you might have go through this kind of documents and then be prepared to come up to the level of other engineers. So at that time, you will be finding it difficult if you are going to read this, take notes, everything. So for this kind of purpose, you can just upload it to it and then ask what are the questions you have about the project, and it will try to give those details. And from this, you will be able to easily up to the level of, and you will be like a people who have been working for on the project for a month. So you'll be able to easily level up to the others people. So this is one of a cool project that I use it very often for my own use cases. So the other thing, where is it? So this is like another tool. So you can see here we have this. This is another project as a project report. So you can see there are so many things, around 150 pages is in the document is there. So you cannot be able to like go through everything and then read. So you can upload it to it. So this is a word tune. This tool name of the app is word tune. So you can see this is the original document on the right side. Based on the around 150, 142 pages, it has prepared a summary of it. So based on this, it has given summary, and it will give basic understanding what are the important points on this on page 9. This is what it is, and then page 10 based on this. And then you want to like see this add to notes. You want to take notes, right? You click on add to notes, it will get added to the notes here. And then you want to like rewrite it, you are going to use it somewhere, you can click this option, it will re-summarize this particular point and then create its own different version, but it will have the same meaning, but it will be in the different words. So now you can add it again and then see. So you can see that's two are the same things. So it will be, but different words will be there, but ultimately it will mean the same thing. So base you can take notes and format and then create a new content out of already content. You might have to use this kind of in your work. You might be, because everything you cannot be writing on your own, so it is not possible. You have to refer other projects and other notes, reports. So when you are doing like this, you will be able to like easily make use of this, get a summary and then add notes, create notes. Wordtune is one of the good useful tool. Chat already, as I told, this one chatpdf.com and then the Wordtune. All it is like all the tools that I'm showing is free. So you just go to chatpdf.com and then you just click on sign up and then sign up with Google and then you will be able to use it. And similarly for this thing, Wordtune. So just sign up and then upload your PDF, it will work. Or you can even link also, you can put even for the links. So here I was given a link. So this link, the same link. So it summarizes this particular case study from my fluids. So it has given this summary. So what it is, their location, what it is. So you can take notes of this kind of stuffs. So this is what the thing is about. So other things is the ChatGPT, as I told, you can ask any questions with this and they're able to do this. So I've been like doing this, for example, I've been asking, we have been asking. Hey, so you can give a page and then ask it to like go and visit that page and get the information. What is the logic behind how a page works or a web application works? It gives some answer, gives all the detailed analysis of this. So those kind of stuff we can use it for the ChatGPT. So I'll show an example of ChatGPT, how it works. So as I told, like we can reply to the emails. So this I have like we have received a doctor's appointment. I have received an email from my doctor for to release of an appointment. So I don't want to write and reply to it. So I asked the ChatGPT to write a reply. So I gave the message what is sent by the doctor and then asked it to send a reply. So it clearly understood this message and then it writes an appointment. So just everything is there. So thank you for the response. It's thanks for making an appointment. And I checked the online portal test have been uploaded. So the X-ray is done. So this kind of things. So they have to bring. So it does very good job of it. So the other things are. So here in the like any AI session that chat with the chat, we call it as a prompt. That is the input that we give to the AI tool, we call it as a prompt. So this is what makes the difference. Anybody can use the AI tool, but we shouldn't be very good in the what is the input that you give to extract the output. Because if you just simply give something, it will not give a proper output. The prompts help you give any question. So for example, here I have prompt, teach me, that is a bracket, any topic of your choice and give me a quiz at the end, but don't need to give me an answer and then tell me the answer correctly. So I have like tried this thing. And then here is what. Let me show. So here I use teach me. The topic that I have given is risk estimation in asset, and give me a quiz at the end, but don't give me the answer. So this is the same exact template I use. So what it says, it teaches me about hazard identification and risk estimation. So it generally says what is hazard identification. It is an instrument to identify the hazards, so and so. And then the risk estimation about this a critical component of hazard, it says. And then what is the helps to understand the potential consequences and likely identify hazards. So this is what, and it involves two steps: risk analysis and risk evaluation. So it tells what is risk analysis here, and then what is risk evaluation, and then what are the different risk estimation techniques. And as it are, there is a fault tree analysis, event tree analysis, and then failure modes analysis. So this kind of everything they explains, and then it gives a question to answer whether I, because it wants to know whether I learned it or not. So it has given the question, so I have answered few things: analysis and evaluation. And for second question I don't know the answer, so I just put I don't know. And for third question I have simply mentioned something from the text it has taught me. And the fourth question is don't know. And then it does the correction for me, like a person who's sitting right next to me, and then like a tutor, he is able to interview. It will just, if the answer is correct, risk estimation of that include two main steps. The first one is correct. Whereas where I said don't know, it says that's okay, and then explain what it is. Risk analysis about identifying which risk might affect the project and assessing the potential impacts. So those kind of, it gives why the answer for the second one. What is the quantitative and the qualitative risk difference? Whereas the quantitative is the risk analysis numerically estimates the potential outcome. This is subjective, whereas the qualitative analysis, whereas this is numerically estimates, quantitatively estimates it. So the third one is partially correct because I've answered only one question. So that is why it says partially correct. And then the fourth one, it says I don't know. So and then I explain what is the other methods also. So similarly, you can use whatever the topic you want to learn. Just give this prompt template and then ask you to teach me this, and then give me a quiz. You will be able to understand what it is, and then able to easily understand. So similarly, these can use many different prompts are there to learn things, because in engineering you will be continuously learning. You have to keep on learning to stay up to date. So this will help you learn easily. So this is another important prompt, a small prompt that helps you learning in a great way. So explain the topic to a 5-year-old. This very, very nice one and very useful one. Let me show that I have demoed in. So you are able to see, right? So here I have asked, explain the dropped object study to a 5-year-old. So this is the question that I asked it to do. So it considered me as a kid, and then it starts to explain. Imagine you are playing with the toys and you accidentally dropped one on the floor. That is what is dropped object study is all about. It's kind of experiment to watch scientists watch babies drop things on purpose to learn about the world. So it is a similar thing. So, and then I asked it to explain what is fire and gas mapping to a 5-year-old. So it asked me to imagine, because it gives an analogy, an example to, so that babies can imagine, relate to what they know. So it giving what baby can able to relate with. Imagine you are playing hide and seek with your friends. You want to find the best hiding spot. You won't get caught fire, right? That you won't got caught, right? So fire and gas mapping is kind of like that, but instead of finding the hiding spot, it helps us find the place where fire or dangerous gas might be hiding. So now you'll get an understanding, okay, like it's similar to hide and seek. So, but we are finding where dangerous gases might be hiding. You know, how to smoke detectors in works can tell us if there is a smoke or fire, right? Well, fire and gas mapping is a big game plan to put those detectors. So fire and gas mapping is nothing but to where to put those detectors. That is the alarm, smoke detectors, the fire detectors, best place to catch fire and dangerous gas before they can hurt anyone. Grown up use computers and special tools to figure out where to put these detectors buildings. So this is what now basically we don't know. I don't know much about like the oil and gas industries because I work on digital marketing and other stuffs. But I can understand what is basis of fire and gas mapping now, since it is explaining to a like a 5-year-old. So any complex concepts can be broken down into simpler one using this kind of with the help of this AI tool. So you can ask any questions and then ask it to any topic, complex topic to explain it to like a 5-year-old or like a 10-year-old. To be if you want, you can move the age. Like 5 year will be very basic. You can move it like for example, the same question I ask it to explain the fire and gas mapping to a 15-year-old. It is a well like a school student. So for school students, it doesn't give those kind of like hide and seek examples. It goes to engine of safety, engine, prof, more like a proper definition. It gives simulations like a adult can understand. So this is what the similarly add depression dispersion modeling to a 4-year-old. So it explains similarly like blowing bubbles. Imagine you are blowing a bubble and it floats through the air, right? So similarly, the things cause factors even a role, but tiny bit of pollution is called pollution in the air, just like bubbles. So how the air goes or how the pollution travels in the air is called as air dispersion modeling. So that is what it tries to explain to a 4-year-old. So you can use this kind of as just to another analogy it gives. So you can basically use this to learn complex concepts sim easily. So and the other thing so the other thing is the other prompt that I want to act as a piping design engineer. I asked it to act as a piping design engineer and do surge analysis for the below requirement. This you might be having a practical use cases. So this is the some example for this is the study like the plant details or what is the project details I have given. So based on this, it cannot successful in a real time, but it can provide a general steps. But if you give a data, it will be able to do some analysis as well. So it will give you general steps, what is the gather necessary data. So this is the thing and develop a hydraulic model and perform search analysis in what are the things that involved in the search analysis. Use the software, PipeNet or ATF Impulse. So this kind of things mitigate search risk and then document the finding, recommendation, everything, prepare the report and then deliver. So this is what it tells the process. The another thing is you can use it as an interview if you are preparing for an interview and if you know these things. I can ask it to act as an interviewer person. So here I am asking you to act as an interviewer. I want the candidate ask me questions from piping design engineer position. I want only a reply as an interviewer. So do not it because it will try to explain things. So I'm giving a strict instruction to act just as an interviewer. So it just welcoming me. I welcome to the interview of this piping design engineering position. Can you start by telling a little bit of educational background experience in piping design? So I am just giving some inputs. I have completed BE chemical engineering and I am a fresher. So it is a fresher. Can you explain the it gives for a concept of piping design engineering? So I have given some input. Piping design is critical component projects plans. Thank you. Can you discuss any specific project tools you're familiar with piping design? I have worked with AutoCAD. So then it goes, keep on goes. So it can extend the like a real interview, you can attend a real interview, you can mock interview. So you can as you were attending a interview. So this kind of things will be there. And then you can ask you to explain the safety audit guidelines, right? This might be sometimes you might be finding it difficult to understand the safety industries. It will ask safety audit, it will explain what is this industry as per IS 14489. It will explain, give me the guidelines, what are the guidelines of this, and then it will explain what are the guidelines. So those kind of stuffs. The next one is QRA and risk assessment. So this is the same thing. What is QRA? And then it explains the same concept. If I asked you to explain to a 5-year-old, it differently explains it simpler. Or you can ask to, in general, this one, give me a chapter-wise summary of a famous book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it will give a section one, what is the discuss, what are the key takeaway from those section. You can use very famous books that are already given, because these books are all trained, they got trained with this data. That is why it's able to fetch those data and then bring this information to you in a precise way. Similarly, if you have any engineering material or engineering books or famous guides, that you can ask it to summarize it or give it in a points like this. So whatever the point, you have to be precise, give precise instruction, it will be able to give you in. Yeah, I asked it to organize them in a bullet points. That is why it is giving it in a bullet points. If you want to give it in a, like a text paragraph, it will give in a paragraph wise. So it can give instruction, be clear and precise about, then you will get to the output you wanted. If you are very vague, it will try to give it in a vague manner. So it is like trickling down and asking questions, and then it will, this is what the potential, it will be able to understand the human language and it replies in a human language. So similarly, I have tried with the SIL. I asked it to teach me a SIL and give me a quiz. So similarly, it has teach me what is SIL and then ask the question, and I have given the answer. So here you can see it asked me 5 questions. It says almost correct, and then the second one is correct. And then if I made things wrong, incorrect, and then it corrects me, try to close. There are 2 internal standards. These are the thing. So and the other main thing is, like, for example, so one day I want to like prepare for a, like, you might be having a presentation in your college, right? Finally, as you'll be having at the end of the day, you'll be taking seminars. So you want to prepare a PPT. So I asked it, so I need to take a webinar. Like you can talk to it as a real person, like a friend that you can share. Like I need to take a webinar on risk analysis strategy within a process industry. The webinar provides fundamental ideas on overall risk analysis strategies within the process industry. Give me a list of topics to cover. Give me a title and content for my PowerPoint presentation. Be precise. Because it will, if you do not give that be precise, we will keep on like in a paragraph, explain things in a paragraph. I don't want that, because I want to put it in a presentation. So I have given this instruction. So based on this, it gives what is the title I have to give. In slide 1, what is introduction and the points to cover. So these are the things it needs to be. And slide 2, and then like definition of in this slide 3. So it gives risk and methodologies. It gives every other topic. So it gives slide 10 and conclusion slide 11 and then reference. So this is, I have this. So, but I do not have content for this. So I asking is to expand, give me content for slide 10. So this is the slide 10. Case study risk analysis in practice. Okay, it example of a risk analysis project, and this I want content. So it takes an example case study, because the other things I can like refer, it can, you can ask one by one, give me expand the content for this slide 3, slide 4, you can ask it. For example, I have given slide 10. So it takes ammonia release incident in fertilizer plant. What is the background, incident summary, hazard identification, risk assessment, risk mitigation, what are the lessons learned, what are the best practice. So you can see, right? So within like just like it took me around like only 2 minutes. I gave this thing, and then it generated in 1 minute. I gave this thing, and then you can prepare the whole presentation in around like 10 to 15 minutes, and then you go through it. No need to like do whether it is, it will have a proper structure if you see. Unlike if you are googling the thing. So right now, what is the difference between this and the Google is, or just a search engine is, it will, you have to search and then you have to organize. You need to know this is the proper logic thing. So that you need to be aware. But whereas this understands those things and gives you in the certain order, you can ask it to give it in certain order also, but it already process it in the particular order from introduction, and then everything it goes, and then risk assessment, and then monitoring, the regulatory standards, and then once it ends with the case study, and then it concludes, and then reference and resources. So you can see a proper structure is maintained, because the finding this will be our starting trouble. Many of us will be able to pull the research and do take notes once we go get into it, but the starting will have the starting trouble will be there. So this makes everything go away. It will help you to prepare the content easily. Even this case study example, you can see it gives the background and then what is the incident summary and then hazard identification, risk assessment. You can see the process. So this is how it can you can make use of it. You can this is just I'm showing what are the things that small example. You can take this concept and expand on it very widely. Whatever the possible thing you can use. Imagine you can try to ask a question differently. It will try different outputs. So you can see the full potential. So also I would like to give a disclaimer here, like it is like not the even all the information provided by is not 100% true. You cannot say it is 100% factually correct. It will try to give the correct information, but it's always you are advised to refer with the original material. So don't think that this is what everything is. This is what is correct. This you can see how we can help you get started or give a structure, those kind of things. But you cannot, if there is small correction, you can, if it is sometimes it may be wrong also. So you can give small corrections to it and then it will be able to rectify it. So that's one thing. The other thing, you can use it for general also. For example, you may be using Google Sheets or Excel sheet, and then something you don't know how to create some formula. You can explain. So I find DL equal to 0 in a column, replace with a DL1 equal to in Google Sheets, how to do it. So it explains me this thing. I asked it to give a formula. It gives a formula. You can use those kind of even for general other things. You can to learn about a tool like Google Sheets effectively or Excel. You might have not learned those things in your colleges, so you can give these things and ask it to generate it. So this is how it works. So this, sorry. So this is what the will end this session. So this is what the basically the AI human versus AI, like human were able to like we have data points and then data points are number of data points and then the information we have is identifying what is the difference between the data that is called as information, and the knowledge is like connecting those information having, and the insight is like seeing it which thing works, which thing doesn't work, those kind of thing. And the overall wisdom is that previously humans are basically able to do it. That is why we were able to see, and that is what we do. For example, even the doctors or any field you can take, for example doctors, they study multiple symptoms. If you see some symptoms, if you're feeling some symptoms, it may be multiple reason may be there. You cannot think based on one symptom, you cannot there. So the doctor, a good doctor will have this kind of analytic mind, so he will keep on checking with the other use cases or other study what are the people, what are the disease he has seen, and you're able to correctly diagnose the disease. So, but yeah, previously the computers were not able to do it, but with the help of artificial intelligence, that reasoning was developing this thing. So that is why the AI becoming powerful. So they are similar to the level of humans. They are able to do this kind of reasonings. So I told you right, in ChatGPT there is two different versions are there. So 3.5 is less of the reasoning, whereas for the 4 it can do the reasoning more correctly comparatively. So this is what you can do the sign up thing for the chat GPT or any other services easily. So similarly, Google also launched this tool called Bard, BARD dot google.com. So it is also similarly, if you can
Prem, we lost your voice. Prem, are you still here?
Sir, sorry, like Prem sir has lost his connection. He won't be able to join with us for a while. So we'll continue with the next session, everyone. So the ChatGPT session was almost ended. So the Q&A will take it at the end of the session when Prem sir joins us back. For now, we'll start with the next session. Our second session for the day is how effectively harnessing the power of your network using LinkedIn. And our trainer for the session is Mr. John Kingsley. Mr. John is a senior engineering professional with 16 plus years of expertise in multiple industry sectors such as marketing and technical services. We heartily welcome you to the session, sir. And I request you to take forward the session.
All right, sure. Yeah. Hope I'm visible. Let me share the screen. Just a second. Okay. So hope the screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir. Visible.
All right. So everybody is muted, right? Like, or can they ask questions, or it will be at the end of the session?
They can ask questions if needed. They are not unmuted. They can ask in between. We're also sharing a form where they can ask at the end of the session. So anything
All right.
comfortable with them.
All right, fine. All right. Good evening, and it's good to have everyone here. I could see a strength of around 90 plus people, right? Okay. One second. All right. I think I lost. Yeah. Okay. Great. One second. Fine. All right. Good evening again. Nice to have you here. Hope you had a very good learning experience with this training program conducted by iFluids, and everyone found it useful. And I hope this is going to be the last session for you, I guess, non-technical one. How much ever the technical aspects is important, equally the non-technical aspects like using LinkedIn, or non-technical skills like having a good grasp of conversational English, your presentable resume, and so on. So various soft skills are necessary. So today we are going to speak about, I'm going to speak about LinkedIn. And as you can see, it is LinkedIn your way to success. How do you effectively use LinkedIn to harness the power of network? So let's go in. So, okay. So of course, I'm just reusing the slides. Earlier this was presented for marketing people, but nevertheless, it is quite relevant for everyone. So this is for someone who already knows about LinkedIn. It's not an issue. You have some basic knowledge of LinkedIn, but you want to know how effectively you can use, what are the features available, and how you can benefit. All right. So we all know, right? Like social media is so prevalent around us. There are different kinds of social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. And when we speak about LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a professional network. That is something we all know. But when we talk about social, what exactly it is, right? This is not something where you, especially when we speak about LinkedIn, it's not like other social media, right? Like you put on videos, you post irrelevant stuff, and just because you're louder, you don't get popular or famous. Maybe people do that, use same techniques, but ultimately it's not a place for hard sell. It is a place where you need to build trust and credibility. How? Using uh, technical content, sharing your experience, sharing some knowledge, right? And that's how you do it. So uh, and this is very much true for LinkedIn. um, right. So target audience, this is something that you should know. Like before I go in, this is something that is quite relevant. Uh, you might have heard about this from others, but what it means is, uh, target group refers to the set of people who you're targeting as a business prospects, or who would you would be interested in, um, like consuming your content, or in case whatever content you're putting, they are able to consume it. And uh, of course, the end result, what you want to do is brand yourself, right? Like showcase yourself. Ultimately that is the aim. And who your audience is, they are the target group. And for young professionals like you, your target audience could be categorized in different categories, like hiring managers, um, and uh, recruiters, your peers, similar professionals, seniors, juniors, and so on, and potential employers, right? Uh, these are your target. All right, I think I'm not sharing the video. Okay. All right. Okay. So what are we going to speak in this training? So we'll be seeing the features of LinkedIn, how LinkedIn works, how you optimize your LinkedIn profile, how to write great content, how do you get the initial engagement, right? And how do you connect with folks who uh, engage with your content. And ultimately, whatever you do, you need to analyze, right? End of the day, that's what will actually ensure that whatever you do works well. So let's get inside. All right. So LinkedIn has a connection limit of 30,000. Probably other social networks also might have, like Facebook has 5,000 maximum connections and so on. But once you reach a connection limit, you still can follow people. Means like people can follow you. That's what I meant. And when we talk about connections, connections are basically two-way notes, right? You connect with a particular user, they communicate with you, and you can do the same for them. Then uh, either of you engage with the content, like, follow, comment, and so on. And uh, the other things are called followers, who are one-way notes, right? They do not connect or add you as a connection, but they just follow you, probably for your content, or probably you share something that they like it, that they want to keep track of it, monitor whatever you post, consume it, but probably connect it at the opportune time, right? So these are two different types of connections, right? And what happens is, when you follow, or when you, even if you connect or even if you follow, whenever they share something, right, a content with hashtag that you follow, it's possible that your second connection or a mutual connection, right, uh, can engage with the content. That's possible, right? We will see more on that coming slides. So as I said, there are three types of connection: first degree, second degree, third degree connections. When I say first degree, it is basically within your own geography, within your own industry. Second degree connection is someone um, uh, whom might be geographically in a different place, but there's a possibility of a mutual connection. Third degree connections are someone who is not within your geographical place, and not within your industry circle, or within your mutual connections. They might be in a totally different place. And and it so happens that sometimes LinkedIn restricts uh, third degree connections. Unless you know their email ID, you cannot directly connect with them. That's a part of safety feature, so that people don't randomly connect with third degree. But there are, of course, ways to overcome this. Okay, let's see about features of LinkedIn. So I'll be sharing various profiles and so on. Maybe I'll share my own profile later on, just to explain it to you, and so on. So these are the important aspects that you need to take care, right? And my personal suggestion would be to ensure that you put information that is relevant and that is accurate or true, right? Because people can see through you nowadays. If they want to verify your whatever information that you have put, it is so easy. They can always cross check with someone through a mutual connection, through some other source, right? Internet, anything is possible. All the things that I mentioned here, we'll be seeing in the upcoming slides. So how do you ace your LinkedIn profile? So one of the important aspects is the one second, cover image, display picture, and headline. So what are these things? So cover image is the one, the banner here. And I'll share some tools. Maybe I can type it in the chat later on. Like tools like Canva, they are free. They also have a free version, wherein you can use their free resources and make a banner. And this banner is like how people do the advertisement, right? You must have seen magazines, you must have seen the newspapers, and so on. Don't cram too much information. Be very specific, so that when they read it, they could understand something. We'll see more profile snapshots, so that you get an idea, right? So basically, this person runs a branding firm, and she has mentioned, if I could help you build your brand and increase close rates, would you be interested? So this is like a statement or a pitch, right? Probably you read this, you get interested, and you dig into the profile and try to understand more. So this is what the cover image. And of course, the cover image, you can always put whatever that is relevant to you. It doesn't always have to be marketing related thing. You can put your skills, you can put your certifications, whatever that adds value, whatever that helps showcase yourself, right? And display picture, DP. Probably everyone would know what I'm talking about. Display picture, or sometimes people call it a digital profile. Ultimately, this should be a professional headshot, wherein it looks professional. And this is something very important. So this is the first impression, right? This gives the first impression for anyone who sees your profile. So this is very important, and you need to ensure that you have a very good professional headshot, and it doesn't cost much, especially some of you might already be employed, or you might be a fresher, but do not think about think this is an expense. All these things doesn't cost much, so definitely get it done. And headline. So when I say headline, this is what is called helping consultants and B2B firms build brand authority and thought leadership. So uh, this could be a statement, this could be a multiple words or keywords that shows your competency or shows your capabilities and so on. And of course, this is a name. And she also has mentioned brand strategist. It's not necessary, but some people still do that. I would suggest just put the name, because when people search, or when they search in the Google, probably this she has done for Google search, right? When they put something else plus brand strategist, probably this profile might throw up in the Google search, and that might be the reason. But for you, I wouldn't suggest that, unless you are very experienced, or you have some special skill. Doesn't add that much value. All right, let's see another similar snapshot. Okay, so here for this is for another person who is good in all this Excel, Visual Studio, and so on. And he has won something called the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, or MVP. This is highly regarded in the industry. Not everybody is given that. Probably now there might be more MVPs, but once upon a time MVPs were considered a small crowd, and it was highly valued. But it still doesn't matter. People see that, okay, they find some credibility, right? And on the right hand side, you see these are his software skills, something that he knows. So Siddharth Raut is an Excel automation and data management strategist, and he helps business, blah, 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 and so on. So he is just giving very briefly, right? Instead of going to the about us, or looking at the experience, or looking at the education qualifications, when people see this, they are able to make out what he does, what kind of services he provides, and so on. So Vaibhav Sisinthe, probably some of you might already have heard. I would strongly suggest you follow him. And he of course, he is something called a growth hacker, but LinkedIn is something like a passion. He used LinkedIn to build a brand for himself, and also he built a business out of using LinkedIn for personal brand building, for business growth, marketing, sales, and so on. So, he has put his website. He has been a speaker in multiple events, so he has put a photo of that, and he has appeared in multiple online and newspapers. He has put that, and he briefly mentions in one short line, helping brands and startups with growth consultant, public speaker, online courses. So this person has the credibility to do that. He has a track record, so he's putting that. But without having any kind of track record, don't do something like this. People can see through you, and they might find you hollow, right? So this is something very important that you need to keep in mind. This is another see, most of the professionals that I'm showing are more into marketing or business and something like that, but there are a lot of technical people, technical profiles who have their profiles really well done. Probably you should take a look, get inspired. Don't copy, be original, do your own thing. So I'm just giving you some examples, right? This is another one. I don't want to go into more detail. I'm just showing you different examples so that probably this could be an inspiration for you to do something similar. Another one here, right? This is very simple, very catchy. Looks good. The artwork, the text, everything falls in place, right? So these are something very important. Um, so you do not need to specialize in that. Just ensure that it looks good, it looks readable. It's not oh, what do you say, too much of stuff in where you cannot make out anything. This is another example, right? And this is something that I think it's been there for a while, but you can actually enable this feature to know that you are looking for opportunities, or if you are looking to provide some kind of services. And what happens is, uh, there are many functionalities, many features. Not all might be open to you. This is something that you need to keep in mind. The reason is, the more that you use LinkedIn, a lot of features, functionality starts opening up. That's how they have done it, and they keep changing this. And compared to 2 3 years, a lot has changed, right? And I have been using LinkedIn for almost I think it's 14 years now. I started using in 2009. I probably had an account earlier, but 2009, I created a profile, and I'm still sticking to it. The previous profile, I don't know, might have been deleted or deactivated. So this is another example. All right. I hope you are clear now what cover image, display picture, and headline is for. Like I mentioned here, instead of looking for job opportunity, means like instead of looking for a job, he is looking, means he is sharing that he can provide these services, right? This is something that you can do as well. Okay. So what we saw was cover image. So utilize this space to showcase your skills, your values, your achievements, your speaking engagements, or if you solve some specific problem, you can put that. So this can be, as I mentioned, this can be easily designed in Canva. There are a lot of online tools now, and now with generative AI, there are a lot more options as well. All right. So display picture, so ideally should be professionally taken headshot. So it should portray you as approachable and professional. So this is very important. Name, add your area accent with your last name. This enables show up in searches. Like I mentioned, probably after a few years of experience you can do that, but I wouldn't suggest you to do immediately. Maybe when you're seriously looking for job, or you have some skills and so on. But keep changing, keep tweaking, see what works best and so on. So it is up to you, it's subjective. So headline, talk about your strengths in your headline. Include keywords where people will probably search for you, and they'll be able to see what you do and so on. So uh, when we say keywords, I'll probably show my profile and say, and show you how why important it is. Because whenever people search, right, they directly don't go to someone's profile. There's a search function in LinkedIn. They type some keywords. They could either be looking for service providers, they could be using for potential employees, or searching for companies. Whatever they want, they put some keywords and search. So when you have the relevant keywords um, related to the job you're searching, or your specialties, your capabilities, something that probably it helps you to be discovered, right? So complete this section with your current position, your education, your location, and your industry. More on that later. All right. So I think this is repeating again. So now coming to the about section. So we saw about this person. So she has written probably a bit long paragraph. Uh, Probably she is a business. She might already have a website, but for her, this is something very important, right? Probably she is probably more active, and a lot of people see her LinkedIn more than her website. So she has put too many details. uh, this may not be relevant for everyone. It is purely subjective. So I would suggest 2 3 paragraphs at the most, not more than that. This is another example. This is very brief, but again, this is also good, right? I would suggest 3 lines first paragraph, 5 lines to 6 lines second paragraph, another 2 lines, the third paragraph, and some keywords or some relevant stuff, right? So this is another about section. This is from Vaibhav. Vaibhav has a lot of things to share, so he has put that. But my suggestion would be to keep tweaking, right? 1 week keep this, another week try to reduce, keep finding what works best for you. And 1 week might be a short period. Experiment with 2 3 months, right? If you do minor tweaks, remember that, and see how your profile performance, when I say performance, number of people who visit you and so on. But see, all this thing by default you need to put some details. How well you put it is one thing, but at the same time, just by putting all these details, don't expect people to coming. I mean, people will start coming in droves. You need to put some relevant thoughtful content, not sharing some forwards or sharing others people. Put your original posts, put videos, some original videos, or maybe download video clippings, write a short brief thoughts about it, or photos. From what I understand, by using LinkedIn for a while, uh, LinkedIn uh, gives preferential treatment to posts which are pure text, right? If you put a LinkedIn, or if you put a photo, it may not get, the algorithm may not treat your post with much importance unless it becomes viral. Unless a lot of people like, comment, or share it, the possibility is very less. But it's not the same case with video. Video probably gets more views, and it can come in the feed, but again it depends. There's a possibility of it becoming viral as well. But first thing is always text based content, second thing is text plus video or video, and then only the photo or link is always the last. This is another about section. Just for your understanding, this is another about section. I think this is a very bad example, too much things, but he's trying to sell himself very hard, right? He's probably a freelancer and he wants some business. That's okay. Again, that's subjective. What works best for you? This is another one. Everybody has their own requirement, right? So that's why I keep telling, keep tweaking, keep optimizing, see what works best for you. I think this is really good. Brief to the point, doesn't take too much space, easy to view, either on a laptop or on mobile. And you would be surprised, majority of the users are from mobile. The main reason being, whenever they are traveling, whenever they have free time, just like how we use Instagram, LinkedIn usage in mobile has become very popular. All right, so we saw about section. So about section is your canvas to impress your audience. It addresses the who, what, why, where, and how of your professional credentials. So use it judiciously to showcase your expertise, and try to influence a potential client or an employee or a hiring manager or recruiter to approach you. And you can also add media, right? Nowadays, in your each employment, or in your each employment, you can add links, you can add documents, you can add text, you can add pictures, photos, and so on. And similarly, there's something called feature yourself. This may not be open for all. Probably I'll show you my profile. um, this feature yourself is a feature in LinkedIn, where you can just I think it is below the about section. That means above the about section, just below the headline and all. Maybe we'll check out, where you can post something like you have done a video, or whatever achievements you have done, or if you have come in some magazine, you have written an article, whatever, you can post that links, or you can post the document, or you can post the photos, and so on. So what you should focus on in your about section: who are you, where are you based, what do you offer. Where are you based, you do not have to go into too much details, because this profile is based out of some regional area that is already covered. So this is non-essential, but it depends. If you're a business or if you're a freelancer, it might be relevant. But if you're a professional, I think the profile already by default has that information, so you not have to waste the precious space for text, right? What do you offer? What do you offer? It basically depends upon uh, what do you call, um, um, like if you're a freelancer, if you provide services, that might be relevant. And uh, again, some of you might take some trainings, right? Volunteering with some trainings, like how I'm doing, probably you can put that, right? And that might be relevant to you. And what are your values? I think this again explains a bit about yourself, and what makes you best choice in your field. uh, uh, this is something that you can or cannot put. Again, it depends. How can people contact you to learn more? You can always add that, but it's not necessary. The reason being, you can always provide your phone number and email ID to the public or to recruiters and so on in your profile itself. So this is purely subjective, but you can still um add that. It depends upon what you want to do, because you can also add your CV as an attachment, right? And it's not mandatory to attach a CV, but CV has a different function, LinkedIn profile has a different function. Don't treat your LinkedIn profile as a CV or a resume. And I'm not sure how many know, but there is a possibility wherein you can um also save your LinkedIn profile as a PDF, right? It can become your resume of sorts, one page or two pages. Maybe I can show it later on. All right. So we talked about the cover page, name, and so on, and and about section. Now the experience section. So this section shows your expertise in detail, your entire career graph, the organizations you work, the projects you have handled. You can attach relevant documents here as well. This is of course followed by the education section. Do mention online certification, on the job trainings in addition to your high school and university degrees. So let's see more on that. So within the organization, she has worked different role responsibilities. That's what she has put here. Same here as well. And um, yeah, so I'm not going to go into more details. This is self-explanatory. And it's not necessary that you need to fill in pages and pages. Of course, there's a text limit of 3000 words per description. Be very brief to the point. Do not put too many details, because when you speak to the recruiter or hiring manager or interviewer, you still want to share some details that you haven't already shared on LinkedIn or CV, right? So just be specific, types of projects you have worked and so on, or what achievement you have done. Be honest, be straightforward, and showcase your skills, what you learned, what you took away in this particular job, and so on. And another important aspect is skills and endorsement. So in this section, you may mention your key skills. You may request your connects to endorse you as well. So this is very important. I think maximum is 50 skill. So be very judicious about it. Don't put random stuff because that may not be helpful. Right. So, okay. So moving on. And recommendations. So this is something that many people are shy, but don't be. And it's nothing wrong to request a recommendation and return the favor. It's completely all right, because that's how it works. That's why it is there. That's why you also have this ask for recommendation, right? And received, given, and so on. So start with your known contacts, right? Don't ask random strangers. Nobody is going to give you a recommendation unless probably you became an acquaintance, spoken, and you write for him or her, and they write for you back. I would suggest start with your lecturers, professors, fellow students, or where you have interned. Ultimately, this recommendation is about credibility, right? When people see you, especially as a fresher, especially as a young professional with less experience, this will help you a lot. The skills recommendations will definitely help you a lot. And like I said, consider recommendations as a goodwill, right? You give one and requesting one is nothing wrong. So I mentioned this earlier. LinkedIn is not your online resume. LinkedIn page is much more than your CV. It's your personal professional brand. So unlike a CV, your page should ideally should not go into too many details of how you did, what you did, or why you did. It's basically what you did, what you achieved, and what kind of targets you achieved, and so on. So it's basically demonstrates your competency, right? Highlights your capabilities, highlights your achievements, and all the other things, right? And it also gives a reason why a potential employer or a client should hire or invest in your services, if you're a freelancer, or hire you if you are looking for a job. So what you post and how you interact with your connects basically validates your knowledge of your industry. So this is something people, right, like fail to do judiciously, or uh, try to be over smart. One thing is, whenever someone posts there's an opening for a requirement, a lot of people end up typing in the comments, I am interested. Who is that going to help? What happens is, a lot of people put that the post only is going to become more popular, and probably come in the feeds, and the algorithm will just push that post across many feeds. If you're really interested, you should check the post, read it, apply for it by sending an email, or going to the website, or trying to reach out and trying to find more. Just by typing in the comments, nobody is going to spend their own time and effort reaching out to you. So don't do that. Or put a statement that you would be interested and you would be getting in touch shortly, something like that. That would be more relevant. But do not fail to read the text and blindly comment. That's not going to help you. So when again, this is something very important, right? Like LinkedIn profile, just by creating a profile, filling up the details, nobody is going to come in, um, or queue up or line up to see your profile. These things take time, uh, but do not get overstressed about it, right? All these things take time, effort, and consistency. Once you have a basic profile, uh, try to invite connections, try to request for adding connections, uh, endorse other people's skill, write a recommendation, return the favor, and so on. And another thing that, when I say invite your connections, right? Connections could be acquaintances from college, from work, or known people, or some random strangers. That's not an issue. But don't simply connect. Add in a message, personalize the message. Because of course, when you uh, try to click connect on LinkedIn, you can also add a note. Always add in a, I think there's a word limit of 300 characters or so. So ensure that you have a brief sentence. Oh, good thing is, would be hi uh, Arun, or hi Ram, I would like to be a part of your professional connection, um, or I would like to associate and learn from your experience. I see you have experience in this, and I would like to learn from you. Something relevant, right? Customize it. Don't just copy paste some stuff, because ultimately the reason you're connecting with someone is for adding value some way. We don't know how or when the connections might be of help, right? So that is something that you need to ensure. uh, don't just give empty connection requests. It might be people would not consider you. Having personalized messages helps you, uh, like they take that time out, read it. Okay, this person is really serious, and they add. And another thing is post regularly. That doesn't mean that every 2 hours you write something, right? Write relevant stuff, plan it, but do it consistently over time. And also engage and comment and discuss with others, and always agree to disagree, right? uh, you may know a thing, you might know it better, others might be wrong, but you can always leave end with some facts and say why uh, this is correct, and maybe give some evidence. People will correct themselves, people will engage, right? And this will help you, right? And the more you engage, you'll start showing up in other people's networks feeds, and they will come visit your profile, and if they are interested, they'll follow you or connect you and so on. So whatever you put there, right, is basically an extension of yourself or your thoughts and beliefs. So be honest, and with time, effort, and consistency, automatically people will start appreciating what you do. So writing great content, so using storytelling in your LinkedIn post is something very important. People nowadays just copy paste stuff. If you do copy paste, always give credit, and don't put random stuff, right? Like I keep telling this, give value in your LinkedIn post. How you do it? Intrigue with your first two lines. This acts like a hook, and then people will be interested to read further. And make your LinkedIn posts mobile friendly. Add links to your LinkedIn post wisely, as I told, right? Add PDF document to your LinkedIn post. Like if you are sharing some documents, don't share copyrighted or pirated stuff. Already something is available in public domain, but a lot of people are interested in learning. Of course, you can do that. You can share your some thoughts and why someone should read this, how they will benefit, and so on. And you should often post on LinkedIn, right? Like nowadays you can do a lot on LinkedIn. There's so many things that has opened up last 1 year. You can add documents, you can add events, maybe you can also do a short video, right? There's so many things that you can do. Whatever you do, you should need to add value, and that is very important. And getting initial engagement. So once you share your LinkedIn, means once you put some comment, article, write articles, right? Not everybody is an expert, so so don't worry about that. And if you're wrong, you can always correct. So don't go for the perfection. Start with uh, like Twitter size messages, then go with bigger posts, then start writing articles, put some photos, put some videos, put some relevant content, technical, non-technical, whatever it could be, and share it with your colleagues, friends, networks, whatever other relevant posts. Try to engage with them, and also comment on others posts, right? Like you, other people also take efforts, put some content. Once you start writing meaningful contents or comments on other people posts, automatically people will start engaging with you and do return the favor. So that is something very important that you need to remember. And okay, moving on. Connect, and do not forget to connect with those who liked your content. Right, connect with them, prepare great LinkedIn connection request. This I already mentioned earlier. And very important thing is analyze whatever you do. Check your LinkedIn post views. Nowadays there are a lot of analytics features that has come up on LinkedIn. Maybe I'll show you quickly. You can also track your connection accepted rate. See, you're not trying to market something, sell something. You're trying to brand yourself, you're trying to showcase yourself. So so of course there are a lot of features. Whichever is relevant, try to understand that and improve your whatever you're doing, right? And um, job search is something very important thing that you can probably use LinkedIn to achieve, right? um, having all the information that we talked about helps people searching a potential employee, right? So when a recruiter or your hiring manager, when they search on LinkedIn or review the application using keywords or specific phrases, they come across you. And keywords is something very important to ensure you have the right search phrase. So when I talk about search phrase, this varies from job to job and different role responsibilities, right? So what I would suggest is you yourself know in your field of work what are the important keywords. Then in order to confirm your thoughts, check out different job openings that are posted on LinkedIn or means like Naukri, or there are many other sources, right? Or even the career website. See what are the keywords they're using. Try to incorporate all those keywords. And telling you, this gives you a short way to achieve good results. Um, Probably last week I had around 320 340 searches or more, and probably 3000 plus profile views for me. This week it has dipped. There are a lot of reasons for that. I had posted some multiple contents, articles, posts that was liked, shared by a lot of people, and the engagement decreased. I didn't post content again, and that's the reason it decreased. But we do not have huge targets, right? All we want to have quality profile viewers. Not, you can put some random stuff and a lot of people will see you, but it's not going to help you. Like I said, you want your target audience to view, right? So again, it depends upon how you want to do it. What is important, I'm saying, how you do it and how you get there is totally up to you. So mutual connections. So LinkedIn will prioritize profiles that search as connections and common words, right? So automatically, when you connect with experienced people, or who are thought leaders, or who are influencers, or who are recruiters with a lot of followings, probably what happens is they might have mutual connections, and that might go in your favor as well. So this is something that is very important that you need to keep in mind. All right, so what is a plan for success? You need to know what you need to do. That is achieved by having a roadmap. Like, okay, I need to fill up this profile, I need to have this cover page, I need to have a good display picture, professional headshot, and so on, and all the other content, right? And like I mentioned, be original, be truthful, be honest, don't bluff, and take actionable steps. Post content every 3 days, every week. I think it's a good thing. Slow and steady always win the race, and that is very true. Doing 100 things in one day and doing no quality work is utter disaster compared to doing one thing one day and achieving complete quality and complete success and complete mastery. That's how people do it, right? Multitasking doesn't mean that you do 100 things and uh, you do multiple things, but one at a time. And define your target audience. Um, this is all marketing sales speak, but again, nowadays everything is like so competitive, so crowded. So even if you want to professionally showcase yourself, this is something very important. So these slides I'm not going to share much, but what I will tell you is basically what happened is, this is from a real example. um, so these were the two people that I knew. So one of them took real efforts, spent some time. um, there are some failures, but uh, they were able to succeed. The other person was not very active, didn't put in the time or effort. um, it didn't work out. They probably lost 6 to 8 months during the COVID time, and of course COVID time was very challenging. But with persistence, with determination, and being passionate, I'm sure a lot can be achieved. um, Basically what happened was they were able to attend multiple interviews, get their dream job, and so on. and it was basically a story, right? Like what happened. I shared that. I'm not going to go into more details, but a lot is possible. That's what I wanted to tell. So luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, right? So this is really true, and this is definitely possible. So what should be on your mind right now? So the times we live in right now is time like no other. Nobody has experienced branding, marketing, selling, or making a business work in such volatile times. Of course, you might think this might be relevant to business development or marketing or salespeople, but the message is relevant for everyone, right? Most of the companies or leaders or business people, they're worried about various things, right? So many things: economy, oil prices, war, and so on. But ultimately, what is very clear is that how you communicate with your clients, with your potential employers, with your hiring managers, what you have been doing, that you need to tweak. And my message here is empathizing, being sincere, having some concern, and trying to help others and supporting some way or other. These are the things that will work in the coming years. So uh, so of course, I wrote it for the marketing, as I mentioned earlier. So what I'm implying here is things are constantly changing, and we need to survive in spite of this competitive nature and number of applicants. So when we are able to showcase ourselves using LinkedIn and so on, I'm sure people will see you in a different light. You will always have an edge, right? And uh, once you start LinkedIn, you will discover a lot more. So there's always a lot of possibilities. um, I have connected with brilliant people, learned a lot from them, and so on. So if you want to achieve something, if you want to learn something, I think with YouTube, LinkedIn, generative AI, Udemy, and many other sources like this iFluids training, uh, I don't know how many people on their own were able to find out about this on LinkedIn or someone shared. I think I would probably be interested to hear all that if possible. But some of you were in the right place at the right time, not by luck, but probably because you chose to be that. So don't forget that. So that's how important using LinkedIn well is, right? And um, with this, I end my session. So uh, that is why, like, um, I have this title, um, LinkedIn Your Way to Success. Effectively use LinkedIn to harness the power of network, right? Right. So if you have any questions, probably I can take that. I know I was a bit fast. I just thought to try to cover as much as possible, so that yeah, 1 second, I just remember. I thought to share my profile as well, not to show off, but um, just to give you a sense that what uh, you can probably do. um, I hope the screen is still visible, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I think. All right, so my profile is visible. All right, so um, this is not a good cover page or a banner, because I personally like it. I'm putting it here, but whatever works for you, you can probably put that. This is my name. This is my headline. um, I talk about these things, right? At that time, this when I took the snapshot 2-3 years back, probably I need to update the presentation. um, at that time this was not there. Now it is here. I mentioned here, that this will show by default, so you don't have to add that to about section. So contact info, you already have this. The reason why you can see my mobile number is because I am showing it to you, because I'm viewing my profile. Probably wouldn't be displayed to others. There are a lot of privacy settings available, and open to work, providing services. So you can always do this, and this information may not be available to all. It might be only to recruiters. There are a lot of functionalities, a lot of features, because I am personally seeing my own profile. This is coming up, but if you see my profile, this won't be visible. You might see this, and I have verified my company email ID. So this will add more credibility to my profile. And these resources are available if you use LinkedIn extensively. Creator mode, my network, personal demographic information, activity, my items. I think this is relevant to most other people, but creator mode is for someone who use extensively, and I think this helps their profiles a lot. So feature, this is what I was talking about. So of course I write a lot of articles, so I compiled everything in one location. And what happens is, like, when you view in a mobile, or when you see my profile, this comes up first. So this was a training that I took, and this was a webinar I did earlier. So I just put it right. I just want to showcase myself. There, of course, there are a lot more items, right? And of course, activities. Earlier it was post, comments, and articles. Now we have videos, images. They have categorized. So I had done this. You can probably go to my profile and check. I may probably share this to you, so probably you can take a look. Do take a look. And right, about section. So I have, like, basically it's 3 paragraphs. I just added these things. I'm doing it out of basically volunteering my time, free time. I'm active in some professional bodies. So these are my top skills, based on what I have put myself. And these are, I've just added my experiences, right? So if you can see, you can add attachments, your education here, your certifications, and so on. You can actually put, and you can link it with your credentials. Then any projects that you are involved in, you can mention here, and you can add other people who worked with you, and so on. And any volunteering that you did, skills you had, recommendations. So I have given some recommendations here. I have received some recommendations here, and these are the languages that I know. These organizations are basically like volunteering organizations. I've just put here my interests. So these are some things that I wanted to share. And quickly, before I end the session, go to more, save to PDF, build a resume. So if you save to PDF, you can get a 2-page or 3-page based on the information that you have put, right? That is quite helpful. And the analytics tools, right? This is like 6 months, 8 months old. Earlier it was not there. Means analytics facilities was there, but it was more for company pages and businesses. Now for even for individuals, we have so many metrics, monitoring your performance, or get deeper insights, right? How many impressions, my articles, my posts. I had 30,000, 40,000 impressions as well. If you see my older posts, but see, these all take time and regular effort, right? Like, see, if you see, somewhere there was a peak long back. So some people who are very concerned, that doesn't mean you become crazy and you do this constantly. It's not going to help you. You need to do it periodically in a planned manner. So consistency is what I'm talking about. So automatically, for example, this had 22,000 impressions. There are other articles, other things like 35,000 impressions. These are my top performing posts. Earlier I had much, and of course, who is the audience that I saw. All these helps you, right? Like you can be aware. And this another one, that important thing that I wanted to show you was I had this 300 plus. So keywords you are found. This is based on my last week search appearances. 185 search appearances. Keywords you are found for sales engineer, security engineer, builder, security sales manager. And top companies such as Work, Security Gate, G Renewable Energy, Jazzy Technologies, International Society of Automation. These things keep changing now and then. So who are the people who saw sales engineer, advanced engineer, and so on? So this doesn't stay the same. It keeps changing. And of course, profile viewers. This is a free account. I have a free account. Of course, if you have the money, you can probably take a premium account. A premium account has a lot more features, like you can send messages and so on. So this helps a lot. Yeah. So and if you are admins of some pages, probably it will showcase that as well. And the groups you are, events you are part of, or what hashtags that you follow, and so on. So I guess I think I shared whatever I wanted to share. I hope how do we stop that? All right. All right. So is there any questions that you want to ask? Probably maybe I can answer.
Thank you, John, sir, for such an informative and insightful session. We have got some questions.
Sure.
Okay. How to use free LinkedIn Premium for lifetime?
See, don't fall for these messages. What do you mean by free LinkedIn Premium? There's nothing called free LinkedIn Premium. See, if you want to get scammed and pay some money, probably what happens is people buy and resell LinkedIn accounts, right? That way you can get a premium account for a low cost, but there are a lot of headaches and troubles. It's not really worth it, and I would not suggest it. And there is no free way to get 3 meals per day, right? Same way, there's no free way to get premium account. That would be the simple answer.
Okay, sir. Next question. How can we manage the setback we receive when we message recruiters via LinkedIn, but don't hear back even as a courtesy?
See, recruiters are people too. And they may have challenging deadlines. They don't look for only one position. They keep working for hundreds and hundreds of positions per day, right? And they filter to their exact expectations. So 95% of time you may not hear from them. That doesn't, or that shouldn't stop you from trying to apply. There was a time, I think 12-14 years back, I used to apply hundreds of jobs per day, different sources. One was LinkedIn, another was Monster, another was Naukri, and fourth one was directly going to the website. Fifth one was whoever posted it. Sometimes in LinkedIn it's shared, sometimes in Monster or Naukri it's shared. So for the same job, probably you can approach it with 5 or 6 ways, right? It may not be possible for all the jobs, but keep applying. If you don't hear from them, that means that there's someone else who was probably a best fit for them. That doesn't mean that you are a failure or you do not know something. It is just that probably they were at the right place at the right time, or the filters that the HR or recruiter used worked and they got shortlisted. It could be n number of reasons. Nowadays, companies are shortlisting, right? Like if 15 years of school education, college education, then 80% plus marks. Even if you go to 80 plus and no arrears, there's still thousands of applications. Then what do you expect people to do? They'll see if you have some relevant experience, but as a fresher, it's impossible. Some people might do internships or may work somewhere through some references and so on. So, or they might have done some expensive trainings. That doesn't, or that shouldn't stop you, right? And nowadays, there's a lot of possibilities for someone to learn. There are a lot of free courses like NPTEL, open, what we called massive online courses and so on. They may not provide you a certificate, but as in a completion certificate, maybe at a payment and so on, right? But you can still complete the training. It doesn't, if you don't get a certificate, that doesn't matter. You can always put it in your resume, right? You can showcase what you did, like projects you worked on your UG, projects you worked on your PG, your personal area of interest, some topic that you really very well, and so on. You can find out ways where you can showcase yourself. And in spite of internet, in spite of everything, there's always things we can miss. So LinkedIn is a place where, of course, people show off, exaggerate a lot of things, but always take it with a pinch of salt. See what others are doing, see what people who are successful are doing, try to emulate them. It doesn't mean you copy them blindly. It may or may not work, but nothing wrong in being inspired and trying it out, right?
Okay, sir. Any other questions, anyone? You can unmute yourself and ask. If there is no questions, then we can end the Q&A of this topic here, and we'll move on to the ChatGPT Q&A. I think that's all for the questions, sir. Thank you for answering all their queries.
All right, sure.
And thank you for joining with us here today in a very short notice. Thank you so much. Now I request Prem sir to answer the Q&A questions asked for the ChatGPT.
Yeah, thank you, Anu. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So I see there are like 3 questions are there. The first one is, can you list out all the chatbot links and its roles? I'm not sure about this question. Chatbot, there is, if you mean to like different services, it is like ChatGPT, one is there, and then the other one is Google's Broad. These are the 2 main thing, and then the Bing's, that is Microsoft Bing.com. You can go to bing.com/chat. These are the 3 main things out there that are freely available. The other tools are built on these tools, like the plugins that I showed, or different tools that I have displayed are using the API of this GPT. So it is basically background it is running only these tools. So you can try out like ChatGPT, that is Bing and Google Bard is enough for your requirement. The second question is how ChatGPT is different from AI and machine learning. So ChatGPT is an application built using this technology. That is AI and machine learning is like a technology, like a subject, concept. For example, AI is the general overall umbrella. That is what I said. It is general like biology, you say. And then machine learning is subset like zoology, or reading about human health, human physiology, studying about human physiology. Whereas ChatGPT is like a scanning machine, which can, or a MRI scanner, a technology which can scan, understand the brains and brain waves and the bodies. So these are like different things. I'm not sure how it is. So ChatGPT is an application developed based on machine learning and deep learning, where AI is a very common term. AI is a very general term, like just like referring to a subject as engineering. In engineering, we have different engineering, right? So AI is a common term. Whereas machine learning is different. That is giving the training data to the model and then it will learn. Whereas deep learning is based on the training data, it will automatically try to think like a human. Like intuitively, it will think, it will have the reasoning ability. So based on this, it will more likely without human intervention, it will try to put this data and try to give an answer or take an action. So the next question is, should I type my symptoms in ChatGPT in order to diagnose a disease? This is not advisable at all. This is very bad. Even you should not be advised to Google your symptoms, because as I told, symptoms can be due to multiple reasons. So it usually in a study it is found that searching symptoms in Google, other things kind of increase the anxiety and increases the pressures, increases stress of the person who's doing that when compared to the person who's not doing it. So it's better to, if there is any issue or anything that you're feeling, just go and visit a professional doctor and take a professional advice. Do not do your own searching on the Google or use AI for that matter, and then do your own diagnosis. If you even search for it, it will usually say it is not recommended to follow the AI instructions or even Google search. So do not believe, because health is a serious issue. So you should not take or follow whatever said on the internet. Better to, if you are feeling anything unwell, just go and visit a professional doctor, take a professional advice and do as they do. So don't take your own medication based on the searches or leave it or based on it. Okay, so these are 3 questions. So everything is answered. Is there any other questions?
Any other questions? You can unmute and ask if you have more questions. I think that's it for the questions, sir. Thank you so much for joining with us here today and giving us a very detailed and insightful and engaging session. Thank you to John sir and Prem sir. And also, I would like to express my gratitude to all the participants for being part of this training program and contributing to its tremendous success. Your dedication and active participation have made this journey truly rewarding for us as well. And also, we would like to inform that there will be reassessments scheduled from June 26th, that is coming Monday, till July 1st, that is Saturday, from evening 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. IST. So participants who have the reassessment, please make sure you attend the reassessment without fail so that you can receive the certificates. You need to pass all the assessments and reassessment for gaining the certificate. And we will not be providing any more further opportunities for clearing the assessments. And the participants who successfully qualify the reassessments will be awarded with certificates along with the participants who have cleared the assessments. And the certificates will be provided by the end of July 2nd week. So these certificates will serve as a recognition of your accomplishments during this training program. And we also want to highlight that participants who have demonstrated outstanding performance in the assessments with utmost genuinity, along with consistent attendance and active engagement throughout the training sessions, will be shortlisted for interview with iFluids Engineering. The HR team will be directly contacting you via email only after July 2nd week. So please make note of that. And the reassessment schedule will be shared to you in your WhatsApp group and also by your email. So please mark the dates in whichever topic you have reassessment and attend it without any fail. So thank you, everyone. Thank you once again for your time. Thank you so much. We are officially quitting this session. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope everyone has filled the attendance form. Thank you, everyone.